on the Rice Owl side. And here we go from Eugene. Ducks with the opening tip. It's immediately given to Jackson Shelstad. Shelstad with a quick three-pointer. Can't knock it down. First shot of the season doesn't fall. Rice comes away with it. On the other end, it's Broadnax in the corner, guarded by Simpkins. Evans with a double team. Over on the near wing, Anderson against Pryor, charging inside. Lost his footing, stolen away by Evans. Up ahead to Jackson Shelstad, and a whistle will get blown. Would have been an easy 2 points for Jackson to start the season. Instead, a whistle will call it back.
Yeah, what a great way to start this off defensively. Jackson, on the offensive side, took a top side three that just did not fall, but Kwame making the efforts known, getting the ball back and turning this offense or this defense back in offense.
Shelstad, one of the best three-point shooters last season, not just in the Big Ten, but in the nation. 37% from beyond the arc. Finish off the 2024-25 season. Still scoreless in the first quarter. Ducks with the ball. Biddle, hand off to Simpkins as he drives inside. Has to reset. Evans to Pryor. Morgan moving the ball all around the perimeter, and this time Simpkins going inside, tipped away and stolen by the Owls. Anderson has it up ahead to Smith, and a whistle will get called. It's going to go right back to the Ducks.
Well, let's go back to that Simpkins shot real quick. He was driving in and decided to throw his arm.
Slams it home. Nate Biddle gets the Ducks on the board.
Yeah, Evans to Biddle up top for a Biddle slam. It's the exact type of way the Ducks need to start.
Anderson gives up three-pointer from Broadnax. He knocks it down. Answering with a three-pointer, and Rice takes the lead.
Broadnax had a clean open look from the perimeter there and taking it.
Immediately Rice comes away with it. On the other end, it's Anderson. This three cannot fall in. Grabbed up by Shelstad, moving the ball up quickly on the far side of the court. Screen around from Biddle in the corner. Biddle lets it fly from deep. Can't find home. And Rice again grabs the rebound.
Yeah, clean open look for Biddle from the left side perimeter. Just could not get it to fall as it rang around. And now Rice with an open possession here.
It's Smith in the corner. Anderson, another three. He redeems himself right there. The lead up to 4 for the Rice.
Anderson, a great look for the open three. This team shot 12 of 28 from beyond the arc during their last matchup. The Ducks need to be careful about the three-point presence.
Shelstad inside Evans, and he goes down again. A sight that many Duck fans have seen for quite a while, but taking a look again, the feed inside to Biddle. And it's become a common theme between both those guys, but on the other end, Rice was able to answer back.
Yeah, Rice is coming back to attack with the from beyond the arc, and that's where the Ducks need to guard. It's a dangerous spot for Rice to get hot, and if they do, it could spell trouble.
Evans at the line. First free throws tonight for either side. Rice on a 6-0 run over the last minute. Knocks down the first free throw. Oregon shot 61% from the charity stripe on the Tuesday win against Hawaii. You see the stat line again from Kwame, 7 points. Was a big presence on the defensive end, but also has that ability to score. Goes 2-2 from the line.
It's consistency that the Ducks are going to need early, and if the Ducks want to fight this one in a tough position, then being clear from the line is the way to go.
Evans gets it to within 2. Bounce pass outside, another three-pointer. Smith cannot find the net. It's grabbed up by the Ducks. Pryor comes away with it. Biddle up to Simpkins. Back to Evans, searching down low, can't find a man. Cross-court pass in the corner, over to Shelstad, back to Evans. Ducks going hot potato with the basketball, and they lose it. Anderson taking it inside after the steal. Out to Broadnax, wing three. Knocks it down again. Everything falling for Rice in the early part of this game. And their largest lead of the night, 5 points.
Right now, Rice is 3 for 5 from beyond the perimeter. And what's even more daunting for Rice right now is the fact of how effective they're shooting from the field as well, going 3 for 5 with just 60% in both categories.
Ducks will get possession back, but down by 5. It's not a great shooting performance in the win on Tuesday against Hawaii. 36% is Shellstad making a move inside, can't knock down the mid-range shot. Biddle grabs the rebound, and a whistle will get blown. They'll go to the free throw line. Second time the Duck player goes to the free throw line tonight.
Well, that's the type of performance that you're going to need from Nate Biddle. The 7-footer just down below, go over the head to grab a rebound, and now having an opportunity to go 2 at the line.
12 points, win 3 of 8 in the win against Hawaii on Tuesday. But our first set of substitutions here. Jimmy Oladoku checks in for Rice. On the other end, Sean Stewart in for Oregon to take out Kwame Evans. Second one can't fall for Biddle. Anderson soaring to grab the rebound. Anderson from inside the top of the key, and it falls in. Another shot falls in for the Owls. Oregon pushing the ball quickly. Simpkins over in the corner, back to Shellstad. Ducks spreading the floor well. Biddle for 3, in and out. Tipped in the air by Pryor as he gives it away. Simpkins for 3 again, can't fall through. And it's tipped away again. Ducks trying to keep it on their side. Stewart thought maybe he might have got the last touch on it, but they're going to say it goes off of Rice, so it'll stay Ducks ball.
Yeah, the tough part for the Ducks here is they're just trying too hard in areas that aren't really falling, taking not clear looks from beyond the perimeter. It just needs to be the game plan of moving the ball, get open looks from the inside, and take what's good.
Simpkins, still no points, out to Shellstad. Also searching for his first points of the season. Shot clock down to 6 seconds for 3, knocks it down. Jackson Shellstad is back, his first bucket of the new season, and brings Oregon to within 4.
How ceremoniously Jackson Shellstad, wearing number 3, having his first points of the year, be a tray and getting the Ducks up here.
Rice on the other end, it's Hobbs. Mentioned him in the open. Akuche can't find the rim, tipped around by Stewart. Shellstad with great reflexes brings it up for Oregon. Up top, Biddle. Can't find the rim there. Want to have your star position player in Shellstad.
Shellstad is the star. He's the point. He has the most chemistry with Nate Biddle and Kwame, the big 3.
Was a star 3 returners for the Ducks this season, as it's off the hands of Hobbs. Looks like it's tipped away by the Ducks. So Biddle, Shellstad, and Kwame, who's not on the floor right now, those are the 3 returning players for the Ducks that had big minutes last season. And before this game, as that one tipped away, grabbed up by Hobbs, and Shellstad trying to keep it in bounds. Might have gone on if his right hand could have cost him the steal there. And it looks like it will stay with Rice.
Jackson was being aggressive there, trying to go in for the steal, but Hobbs was the one who knocked it out of bounds, and it almost seemed that it came off the foot.
Rice with a 4-point lead, shooting 57% from the field. 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. Hobbs, top of the key, guarded by Shellstad. Drives inside, gives it up. Inside, Olo Okon grabs his own miss. And a whistle gets blown. It'll be Oregon ball.
The Ducks' defensive pressure really playing a factor against Oladoku. Both Sean Stewart and Nate Biddle going up to make the block, and not sure who got the recorded one there, but they gave it to Biddle.
Works out for Oregon. Did lead to start off the game, but haven't led since Rice took over. Pryor on the near wing, bounce pass inside to Biddle. He's been a great player on the low post all season long, especially in that first game against Hawaii. Out to Simpkins with 6 on the shot clock. Has to give it up. Biddle, a deep 3-pointer. That one doesn't fall down. Pryor going up for it, and a whistle gets blown as Pryor fighting inside with Jalen Smith for the rebound.
Open look for Nate Biddle from the top, could not get it to fall, and Pryor doing an excellent job of just being posted up in the paint at the right time, trying to go up and get the board for the Ducks, but a good reset of the offense. They need to move the ball around the arc more. They're holding on to it.
Biddle inside. That one falls in for Nate Biddle. And Oregon within 2 points.
It almost seems a little too easy for him, Saul. It's just a quick dropper over on the top of the basket.
Trying to have a strong comeback here after missing 31 games last year, rather in 2023 due to injury. One of the names on the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar center list as Shellstad comes up with a steal on the other end. Three-pointer to give Oregon the lead. Can't knock it down. A little upset with him after that one. But it will stay with the Ducks as Pryor was going up for the rebound.
Shellstad doing an excellent job of just disrupting the passing lane, his presence being known on the opposite end of the court. And then in the fast break, just try to pull up quickly in transition. Just could not get it to go true.
So Desrick Lindsay coming in for Pryor. Inbound Evans over to Stewart. Stewart takes it inside all the way to the rim. Strong finish from Sean Stewart for his first points of the night.
Stewart with a quick jab and then a direct go up to the basket. An excellent finish with that left hand.
Another new name for the Ducks in Stewart, transfer from Duke. Also time at Ohio State. Rice inside. Olodukun can't finish, tipped around. Evans going up with it. He goes down again, landing on his back. But able to get possession back for his team.
There's an absolute swarm of Ducks right under the basket, mixed in with a couple of Owls. And the Ducks come up with the possession. It's good news here in Matthew Night with a score that is knotted up right now.
Ducks on a 7-0 run over the last 2:42, able to tie it up at 11. Shellstad with possession, already 3 points to his name. 1 of 4 from the field. Whistle and a foul called on the Ducks that will give the ball right back to Rice.
Yeah, they're giving the personal foul to Shellstad there. Excuse me, on Evans. Just from the rotation.
See the screen right there. A little bit too much contact. Carroll has it for the Owls to Smith. Led the team in points with 18 in the win on Tuesday. Over in the corner, it is Carroll who can't make the three-pointer. Lindsay over to Lynn. And another whistle will get blown. A lot of whistles in the past 2 minutes on both sides. Kind of sloppy basketball. The shots have started falling for these teams, but when you get a whistle, the fouls, the turnovers, things that start to break up the momentum.
Well, so I think both teams are just trying to play fast-paced basketball, and with that comes a few mistakes when you're not so dialed in earlier into the parts of the season. And for the Ducks, it's gone 50-50, and right now it is going their way currently.
And Dana Allman was a little bit confused on that whistle call right there as Oregon trying to make a few substitutions. Simpkins will come in for Shellstad. First time we see Jackson go off the floor tonight. And Rice will also bring on a new player as well. Not quite sure what happened, but Ducks do retain possession.
Well, for the Ducks, this is where they need to take advantage. The bench is coming in to sub in for the starters. They only had 12 points off the bench in that game against the Hawaiian Rainbow Warriors, and they just need to execute at a more effective pace.
Hoi Lin, just 2 points in the win against Hawaii. Back to Lin, he drives inside, trying to go up, drawing the foul, can't make the shot, but will go to the free throw line. That's really what Lin brings to this team. He's a fast-playing guy, kind of similar to Shellstad too, but he's not afraid to go up and get the contact.
Well, you know, we talk about Wei Lin and how he didn't have any points from the field, but guess what? Wei Lin last time at the line was 2 for 2, and they rang his only points of the night for Oregon. For himself on Oregon.
Average 15 points a season in 3 years over in the Chinese Basketball Association. Can't find the inside of the rim on the first free throw. There was a little bit of concern to see how he would adjust to playing basketball over here in the States after playing for so long over in China, but we saw in the exhibition that he's been adapting pretty well to the game. It's a little bit more fast-paced over here. Obviously, defense is a little bit more heavy, but it feels like he's been fitting the Duck scheme so far.
The transition from the CBA to college basketball has definitely been an interesting one for Wei Lin, but he's adjusting well. Really, it's a lack of experience from beyond the perimeter that has plagued this Oregon offense, and mostly just the play of Wei Lin.
Broadnax draws the foul against Wei Lin. Lin not happy with that call.
You just don't have many personals to give this early into the match, and to give one up right there on something very little.
Akuche, separation and scores. Quick points for Rice out of the timeout, puts them ahead by 1.
And that's what Rice is doing. They're just pushing the ball with excellent pace to get open looks, and compared to Oregon that's held on a little bit too long to have a play actually develop in motion.
Simpians, top of the key, finding Evans down low. Going to work inside, double team, trying to get it off, and the whole bench was standing up, pleading for the whistle, and it is going to be a timeout taken. As Evans was kind of put into a corner there and forced to take it, as both teams will go to their side. So again, with the Ducks, just a 1-point victory against Hawaii on Tuesday, and for Rice, really a team who's trying to get back to that elite level play. Defended by Lin. Going one-on-one, instead gives it up to Howe. First time we've seen him in the game. Smith drives in on Evans. Separates, fade away, and knocks it down. Beautiful separation there from Smith for the easy bucket.
He made it look very easy, had a whole handful of Kwame Evans right up into the grill.
It's now a 3-point lead for the Owls. Up top, Evans takes flight. Great feed from Simpkins, and Evans all over that alley-oop.
Well, Saul, you just mentioned that the lack of experience in chemistry would play a factor, but how about Simpkins getting the chemistry started with Kwame to come down for a big slam?
Evans going down, but comes away with it, up ahead to Simpkins. Ducks looking for the lead. Simpkins coast to coast, can't finish, and tipped away by Stewart, out of bounds. But how about this duo right here? Simpkins up top, and Evans all over the alley-oop. Talked a lot about Shellstad and Biddle, that duo from last season's carryover. Well, we could be seeing a new duo this season in Simpkins and Evans.
Absolutely. Good backdoor cut by Evans just to go up there, and Simpkins having the awareness to go pass it up high.
Shellstad back on the floor. Guarded by Howell. Oregon shooting 31% from the field, just 1 of 9 from beyond the arc. Shellstad double team for a second, will back off. 3 seconds, deep 3-pointer off the front of the rim, and it's chased down by Biddle. Back to Simpkins for another 3. This one falls in. A second 3-pointer for the Ducks tonight, and Simpkins gives Oregon the lead.
If you can't have Shellstad do it from beyond the arc, how about Simpkins, the transfer? Takes a little bit of extra added weight from beyond the arc work, having him in the rotation.
Broadnax penetrating inside, and he goes down with Lindsay. There'll be a foul on Lindsay. Was hoping for potentially an offensive call, but Ducks able to get the second chance and give it up. 3-pointer there from Simpkins. Hit just 1 3-pointer in the win against Hawaii on Tuesday. They shot on a solid year last year with Elon, averaging 16 points a game. Scored in double figures 23 times. He can score a lot when he gets hot. Inside feed, Biddle tipped away. Kind of a forced pass there from Pryor, and a whistle on transition. Simpkins might have gotten hit. A little bit of discomfort as they were moving the ball up the court.
Yeah, it looked like Simpkins took an elbow right into the middle part of the ribs from Broadnax. And Broadnax is 200 pounds, 6'4", so that elbow swings with a lot of momentum.
It's a thing that can definitely hurt, and Simpkins still feeling it right there, but will stay on the floor. Howell, 8 points in the victory on Tuesday. Deep 3-pointer, that one doesn't fall through. Kind of felt like a forced shot. over Simpkins. Evans feeds it down low to Biddle. Against Jiwa. Outside of Pryor, but he overshoots his target. Would have been an easy shot for Pryor, but a little bit too much on that pass from Biddle.
A costly turnover for the Ducks, but an uncharacteristic pass from Nate Biddle, who's usually accurate like a dart, but just right there, missing the open target.
Ducks with 21 turnovers in the game against Hawaii on Tuesday. Already up to 6 after that turnover by Nate Biddle. And another whistle down low as Shellstad came away with it, but before he can get going on the other end, stoppage in play. Rice struggling after a hot start of the game. No points in the last 2:17. Broadnax to inbound, trying to change it. Hobbs off the inbound. Switches inside, now he'll go underneath. Bounce pass in the corner, it's Broadnax again. Hobbs thought about a three-pointer. Ducks forcing Rice outside. Hobbs taking a three. Can't fall down, tipped away into the hands of Pryor. Stewart able to get a hand on it up top.
Yeah, just a great job defensively from the Ducks to force an outside look.
Stewart off the mid-range inside the free throw line, but it doesn't fall through for him. Broadnax, extra pass to the corner. Spin move, fade away, can't fall through. Scoring draw continues for Rice. Biddle on the other end, knocks it down. And Biddle starting to pick up here in the middle portion of the first half. On the other end, Anderson going up and it's stolen away, but not before a whistle. NBA draft last year instead said, hey, I'm going to come back for another season. If he could put on a good year, it might solidify him to being one of the top prospects come this year's NBA draft. Stewart inbound to Shellstad, will stay with the Ducks.
Well, after a very productive senior year, there was a lot of talks that Nate Biddle was going to go to the league, and he entered the draft but decided to keep the college eligibility had he not been drafted, and ultimately made the right choice to come back to Oregon, develop for another year, and just go out a Duck for one last time.
Shellstad on the inbound. Another native of Oregon from West Lynn. Gets it on the other side. Simpkins, football pass. He has to get rid of it. Rice applying the pressure all alone. Pryor driving inside. Extra pass out to Simpkins. Shellstad almost got it, but Hobbs able to get a hand on it and knock it out of bounds.
Excellent ball movement by the Ducks, going down low from Pryor, swinging it out towards the perimeter, and Simpkins trying to get it done, seeing an open Shellstad, but that block just tipped out of bounds.
Shellstad, just 3 points. The 1 3-pointer in the early part of the first half. Biddle looking for separation. A deep three that's blocked from Simpkins. It was Broadnax who got his hand on it. Simpkins just needed to get a shot off before the buzzer went off.
The Ducks needed to attack inside of the paint a little bit harder there. Nobody was cutting inside of the basket for Nate Biddle to go make an opportunity for.
Ducks up to 12 turnovers on the game. Approaching the 7-minute mark of the first half. Simpkins on defense, separation. Anderson, fadeaway jumper, and it falls through. Rice slowly creeping their way back into it, down by 1. Ducks searching for a rhythm. Pryor in the corner, all alone. Can't find the bottom of the net. Some missed shots by both these teams. Anderson, that one doesn't fall through. Up ahead, Shellstad going up with it, and it is easy lay-in, and it falls in. But Stewart was trailing him all the way, was there to put it back. And it might be a goaltending call as a whistle gets blown after Stewart went up with it. The layup was going to fall through for Shellstad no matter what, but Stewart, with insurance, just trying to put it back if it didn't hit.
Yeah, that one not falling. Stewart just playing a little too aggressively on basket, thinking that Shellstad's layup would not fall true. Just a costly mistake here again for the Ducks.
Hobbs taking on 3 different Ducks, loses his grip on it. Stewart to the ground to fight for it. Biddle also laying down. Another whistle.
Sean Stewart is having a quiet night on the scorecards, but in the plus-minus section, he's doing an excellent job. And every time that the plus-minus for him is 7 currently, but he's making his efforts known in grabbing rebounds and being aggressive on the floor, trying to go for open balls. Really just making a good presence known, and maybe not so much for the stat sheet, but for the team.
It's the 9th foul for Rice just in this first half, so we'll send Oregon to the line. Both teams in the bonus. Simpkins and Pryor come off the floor. And a very aggressive battle between the Ducks and the Owls. Not a lot of matchups between both these teams. Just 4 total coming in this one. Last one coming in 2006. Ducks came away with the victory in that one. On the other end, easy floater off the backboard for Brodnicks. And Rice able to get it right back as Oregon was pushing it up. Hobbs for 3, and this one falls in. 5 points in the matter of a few seconds. Dana Altman not happy with it. Rice back ahead.
Rice has been quietly clawing back at the lead at what was once 5.
Lynn finding Biddle down low. Extra pass to Stewart. Stewart might have got hit as he was going up with it. Rice at one point was over 7 from the field. Now they're on a 9-0 run over the last 2-13. And I mean, that's what a game like this can do. It's a game of runs, especially between both these teams that like to play high intense basketball. And it feels like whoever makes more mistakes, the other team is going to benefit from them.
Absolutely. You see the Ducks have committed 4 turnovers in those last 4.5 minutes or so. But what's been also tough for the Ducks right now is just not being able to execute in perimeter defense. And everything's just been put into the outer parts. And Hobbs, who's shooting 50-50 right now.
Second free throw falls for Stewart. Ducks came into the season the second team behind North Carolina outside the top 25. Receiving a lot of votes, on the cusp of getting a placement in the top 25, but find themselves down by 2 to an unranked Rice team. As Shellstad and Biddle fighting for the rebound down low. It's still the early part of the season. These are always the games that you're trying to get things right. We talked about it earlier, the chemistry, especially for Oregon, a lot of new faces on this team. But if you lose games like this, it can really have an impact later in the season in Big Ten play.
Absolutely. You don't want to lose the games that you're quote-unquote supposed to win. But what makes this Rice matchup even just a little bit more interesting is going back to what Salo mentioned, this last matchup having in 2006, where the Ducks squeaked by on a 79-73 overtime win. Could tonight turn out that way? Who knows? But history does have a tendency to repeat itself.
Shellstad at the line. Last season, 13 points. Was out for a little bit with a wrist injury, but back on the floor for the first time tonight. Stewart, strong rebound, gives the Ducks second life. Down by a point. Demir on the screen, Shellstad. Separation, Lynn, top of the key. Looking to drive inside, step back three-pointer, deep 3. Can't fall through. And Stewart with an easy rebound, resets the shot clock. Over to Lindsey in the corner. Now on the low post. Inside feed to Demir, and he loses his handle on the basketball. But it will stay with the Ducks. Couple Owls with the last touch.
Well, that's what you talk about when the lack of chemistry starts to really affect the offense. And right there, just Lindsey, the Southwestern Florida transfer, just missed. Demir on the lower parts of the floor. He's trying to cut backdoor, go over on to the upper part of the basket to try to get an easy slam, but falling through.
Shellstad on the baseline inbound. Stewart, Lynn. Drive inside, another fadeaway, 2-pointer. And again, another miss for the Ducks. Shellstad, another 3-pointer. This one doesn't fall through. And frustration on the Ducks side from Shellstad after that 3-pointer. Oregon taking a lot of good shots, some a little bit forced, but right there on Shellstad just didn't fall in.
Shellstad has had the most open looks from beyond the perimeter, but he just cannot get it to fall true, and that reflecting so on the scorecards. 3 of 16 from beyond the arc tonight with 19% in execution rate. And for Wei Lin, there were a couple shots that I felt were open looks, but he forced the last long two-pointer where he went up really high and it cost the Ducks there.
Stewart, second free throw, no good. Demir on the rebound, out to Lin from the top of the key. Another three-pointer that misses for Oregon. Ducks 0 of their last 6 after that missed shot from Lin. Rice all knotted up with Oregon. Out to Smith. And a quiet night for him, just 2 points, 1 of 2 from the field. He'll bring a step back, blocked by Stewart as Hobbs comes away with it, able to grab it and prevent a steal. And now Shellstad from behind, he's able to intercept it, but Rice still with possession. Out to Smith on the near wing for 3, bullseye. A lot happening on that play as both teams were trading the basketball back and forth, but Rice ended up with it, and a three-pointer gives them the lead.
You got to hand Rice's offense for having a goldfish memory there, just resetting after the block, getting the ball back on a steal, and then finishing it with Jalen Smith from beyond the perimeter.
Shellstad to Stewart. Lin thought about the shot. 0 of 3 from the field. He'll take it, trying to challenge inside. Separation. And it's out of bounds. They will stay with the Ducks. We'll have to see. But first, both teams head to their benches and away with 10 points. One of the few starters to come back for the Rice Owls. Ducks with possession, just 0.9 on the shot clock as Shellstad was trying to feed it inside to Biddle and Pryor, but nobody able to get the shot off.
Yeah, Ducks tried to go back to an earlier look where it was a dump-in pass to Nate Biddle to go over the top for the easy slam, but
Hobbs sees the hoop, turns away, feeds it out. Akuche. Back to Smith. Akuche. Wing 3. Falls in for the Owls.
I don't think Evans was assuming that Akuche was going to shoot from that far, especially with the hand all the way in his face, but he got it to fall.
Owls on a 6-0 run over the last minute. Oregon with possession. Pryor to Shellstad. Dana Allman and his team searching for something. Kind of a bit of a back and forth game, but Rice starting to pull away. Evans in the corner, 3. Can't find it there. Broadnex, cross-floor pass. Kuche, thought about taking it in. Instead, it's Smith with a three-pointer. And can't fall in. Pryor comes up with the rebound.
The Ducks just holding on to the ball a little bit too long and getting into uncomfortable shots where the shot clock would be at 5 to 10 seconds, and they're just forcing things that aren't really there and having a hard time of driving inside.
Evans kicks it out. Shellstad, top of the key. Got it! That might be the spark that Oregon needs. Shellstad, second 3 of the night.
I was just talking about going inside, but with Jackson Shellstad, everything happens from the outer parts and getting it done right there for the Ducks to make it 27.
One of the clutchest players that Oregon has seen in recent history. Had a lot of big-time moments last year. A lot of game winners as well over his career here with the Ducks. And Oregon's going to be looking for his help down the stretch as a fadeaway doesn't fall in for the Owls. As down low, it's Jiwa. A couple of second and third chance efforts. Doesn't fall.
Excellent effort by Nate Biddle to block Jiwa right onto the back of the glass. Could have been close for goaltending.
Shellstad, three-pointer on the last possession, drives up, and can't get 2 points there.
And Jiwa returning the favor right back.
Broadnax challenging Evans, and it falls in and out, but it fell through for 2. Rice back up to a 5-point lead in the final minute of the first half. Ducks will slow down this possession, take as much clock off as possible. Shellstad accepting the screen from Biddle. Three-pointer on the way. Off the back iron and out. A lot of missed three-pointers for the Ducks. 16 total have not fallen in for Oregon beyond the arc, and a timeout will get taken by Rice with 12.7 seconds remaining. I mean, look, the three-pointers are not always something that you try to rely on, but for Oregon, it feels like with the shooting that they have, they need to kind of rely on it.
Absolutely. I mean, you have Shellstad, Kwame, and Nate. All three guys can execute from beyond the arc, but with Nate and Shellstad specifically, they are true when they get into a rhythm, but that has not been the case today, especially from the inner parts of the field, only going 27%, 8 for 30, and just as Saul had mentioned before, the Ducks are shooting 20%, 4 for 20 right now, and 2 of those coming off of the hands of Shellstad, and 1 of them coming from Simpkins. The unlikely shooter, but he's trying to get hot.
And you wonder, too, if the scheme's going to start to change for the Ducks. Again, they've been trying to feed Shellstad. Last year, that was kind of what they were doing. Still had a lot of options as well, but it felt like he was the one who always had the ball and was taking those shots outside. But now with some of the injuries, not fully 100%, obviously made the start tonight. Could be seeing more action from Biddle and Evans down low.
That's an excellent point, Saul. With the extra added help from Simpkins and now Sean Stewart, there is a little bit of alleviation off of the need for Jackson Shellstad to just go for just the whole game straight. And for Nate Biddle, it's about getting them active early. And same with Simpkins. It's just been a very quiet night for all of them. Biddle had a double-double last game and is very quietly trying to match that pace tonight.
Broadnax with 3, trying to get a shot off, gives outside. Smith for a 3, blocked by Simpkins. Big time defensive play for the Ducks to end off the first half, but Oregon still trailing by 5 heading into the locker room.
Absolutely, the Ducks just not executing in the ways that they're doing and keeping up